thank you for coming. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing the potential of a greater alliance between organized labor, workers, 99%, and the hardcore Occupy who's actually camped down here. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for your courage. And thank you for, because not everybody can be here all the time. Not even people in the tents. So nobody, even in the tents, should feel like they're betraying the movement or anything. If you have to take off and recharge your batteries and get back to your life or your family or something for a while and then come back, what we have to think of is tag team professional wrestling here. One's down, another one slap the hand, and in they come and save the day. On and on and on, because this is going to have to be a very long-term, brick-by-brick insurrection if we're going to get anything as far as bringing the 1% to justice goes. Because what we're up against, basically, is not just a slow but sure coup d'etat worldwide by corporations taking over government itself to the point where we don't even have capitalism anymore, it's feudalism. But as of now, our country, our city, our state, many other cities and countries all over the world, it's not just corruption anymore, they are being run as a criminal enterprise. They don't call them banksters for nothing. So, I think inevitably, there's going to be raids on tents like there have been in so many other cities. But is that the end, or is that merely the beginning? The beginning. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't just start with Arab Spring. It started with the biggest Occupy action to date in the state of Wisconsin. 100,000 people, they didn't just occupy the area outside the Capitol building, they took the whole Capitol building. And all of a sudden, the whole world was watching, and even the Egyptians laying their lives on the line were inspired by the American people in Wisconsin. Eventually, the occupation broke up, and they are no longer inside the Capitol building. They are in their towns, in their streets, in the voting booth, recalling state legislators, and launched the recall campaign against Governor Scott Walker. I may be cynical about whether the Democrats really stand for democracy at all in this day and age. You know, they hate democracy about as much as the British Labour Party hates labor at this point. But that doesn't mean that one of the major actions to grow out of Occupy should not be mobilizing more people to show up and vote smart, not just voting corporate-operated puppets out of power, but ballot initiatives for more medical marijuana, rent control and rollbacks, preventing things like blowing the whole city's money on a football stadium when there's too many people who don't have a place to live. Things like that are a natural outgrowth of Occupy. I'm of two minds of whether or not it's time to actually occupy the Democratic Party and start running in primaries or not. I'm registered green because I've had it up to here with the Democratic Party. You know, I'm sick of people like Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, Willie Brown, Gavin Newsom, you know, the ultimate Frankenstein of Feinstein and Tom Cruise and Gray Davis all in one person. We've had enough of those. So, that also means that at first, just being plain fed up enough to pitch a tent and refuse to leave, that is the demands, and that's great, that's fine. That is the base of the pyramid. Long term, we will get nothing done unless we demand that specific things be done and have reachable goals in mind. Brick by brick, both locally, like paying attention to all those ballot initiatives in the city of San Francisco. We won some good ones last time and lost a key one as well. That's the way it goes. And statewide, if enough people like us had showed up way back when in the late 70s, and I was guilty, I was cynical of not voting, and I didn't show up, we wouldn't have Proposition 13 gutting our entire school system and infrastructure now. This is why that is one of the major, most important outgrowths of Occupy. Insurrection to me means insurrection in the streets, insurrection in the voting booth, and insurrection with how we use our money and give it to as few corporate predators as humanly possible. You know, that's why Occupy is saying pull your money out of Wells Fargo or Bank of America and put it somewhere else, assuming you've still got any money for that matter. And that means, you know, don't just, you know, I mean, one of my first actions was not eating at McDonald's anymore in 1979. Uh-oh, he's burning his money. I don't know about that one. There's plenty of people asking for dollar bills, selling street sheets that can use that bill. I'm serious. I like the gesture, but still. Don't burn your money, burn their money, meaning the 1%. I mean, the 1%, they don't even burn their money, they just hoard it. The 1% have gotten to the point where they have so much money they don't even know what to do with it all anymore. And so it's like, but they still like to play the game. I mean, you make your first million, your life is done. You can do whatever you want. No, I must have more. I must have more. I must win. I love playing the game. I must win. I must win. Therefore, somebody else has to lose. They're like crack addicts. Only instead of crack addicts, they're wealth addicts. And that is the most dangerous addiction known to man. But even if eventually Ed Lee and that thug of a police chief he brought in from the Fajita Gate, remember that? He's part of that too. That's what scares me about Ed Lee the most so far, is how the brutality has gone up with the police. The BART protests and whatnot, it's like Feinstein all over again. Oh no is right. But long term, especially if you know in advance can mobilize enough people to show up, mass arrests are not a bad thing. Especially if every single person demands a jury trial and clogs up the court system, and then they just dismiss the charges against everybody. Mass arrests on the Brooklyn Bridge is what got Occupy from a little footnote among internet hipsters to corporate cartoon McNews on CNN and Fox and MSNBC and the rest of them. The mass arrests are what did it. I remember back when I was peripherally involved with a group called Earth First in Northern California to save our redwood trees from being clear-cut and made into picnic tables and things. I'm not kidding. One of the most effective tactics was total nonviolence, no violence involved. We're going to show up here right at the edge of corporate timberland. We're going to cross the line. You've already told us we're going to be arrested. Okay, we're bringing 2,000 people with us, and you're going to have to arrest everybody. And that penetrated the corporate media curtain, so it was all over the San Francisco Chronicle, all over local corporate cartoon McNews, and ultimately some, not enough, but some of Headwaters Forest and our precious redwoods were saved as a result of this kind of nonviolent direct action. Okay, I gotta go, so I'm gonna leave you with this. I've said this so many times, but I'll say it again. One thing to spread this movement, number one, let people know not everybody has to be among the hardcore hardliners to show up and help. Doing something is better than doing nothing. Every time. And in order to spread the anti-corporate Occupy movement, one of the best ways to do it is one-on-one. Don't hate the media, become the media. Not just on the internet, not just on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but one-on-one with people you know, home, school, family. If they start spouting 1% propaganda, anti-immigration, racism, or whatever, don't tune them out or dismiss them as being unreachable rednecks. Talk to them. Don't argue. Communicate. We all have family and relatives in other parts of this country. Kansas, Colorado, where I'm from, Texas, you name it. They aren't as down with us, or they don't think they are, but they're worried about the same things. These are the people you can go direct to when you write them a letter or talk to them to get them away from the Tea Party and into a movement that's actually going to get something done on their behalf. Above all, we're in this for the long haul. Whatever you do, 5 years, 10 years from now, remember what's making you do these things. Show up at these events. Don't sell out. Don't turn into Barack Obama or whatever, who used to be a community organizer, or the former members of my old band, for that matter. But whatever you do, stay true to your soul. Do not give up, ever.